All right, everybody, how are we doing today on this Thursday? It's chilly out there, and I feel like the thing that even just makes that cold even a little bit worse is because when you look outside, it doesn't look very bad. It actually looks like it's actually pretty comfortable out there because of all the sunshine, but it is chilly and it is pretty breezy out there too. And so we're going to continue to keep an eye on a little bit of a cold snap here in Florida as we take a look at the next couple of days. So let's get started. We have a question of the day coming up, and of course, we have to talk about your Halloween forecast. And I'm really excited to kind of show you what have been planning and what we're doing to wrap up the month of October. We are going to also continue to track Melissa. We are starting to really see the damage on Jamaica as well as areas across Cuba, and now as it rips through the Bahamas and making its way up towards Bermuda, Melissa is continuing just to rage on. So that's a couple of the topics that we're going to be kind of getting into today, but if you'd like to get into the conversation, let us know if you have any loved ones that were impacted by Melissa, as well as let us know your Halloween plans, because we'll be talking about all of that over the next half hour. So let's actually just get into it. So it is deceivingly nice out there today, and as we take a look over the next couple of days, it's very much going to be sweater weather, then kind of shifting over into layer weather as we head through the next couple of days as well. But starting off our Fox 35 weather stream today, our question of the day, make sure you write in the comments your question, and we will pop up your comments right here on stream a little bit later on in the show. So question for today, what are you dressing up for Halloween as for this year? And if you're not dressing up, if you have kids that are dressing up and you're taking them out trick-or-treating, reason why I ask this is that you may even have to adjust your Halloween costume a little bit, because things are going to get pretty chilly out there as we take a look right around the time where you're hitting the streets to go trick-or-treating. So what are you dressing up as Halloween for this year? If you're not dressing up, what are your kids dressing up as? What are your friends dressing up as? And even if you want to get in on the conversation, again, if you're not dressing up for Halloween this year, let us know what you think the most popular Halloween costume is going to be this year. How many duplicates of costumes do you think are going to be coming up to your front door this year for Halloween? So that's our question of the day. Make sure you write in your answer in the comments. And again, we will take your comments up live a little bit later on in the show. And also, tomorrow, if you do have any photos of your kids, your pets, your group of friends, you dressing up, we would love to see them. Send us your Halloween costumes as you guys are getting out there and in getting all that candy tomorrow. We would love to see your pictures. We're going to show this coming up. We're going to possibly show a few tomorrow if we get any in, as well as later on next week, because I know a couple of Halloween parties are going to be happening this weekend. We would love to see your pictures. Here's some inspiration from some of my favorite Halloween costumes that I dressed myself as or dressed Honey, my dog, up as over the past couple of years. And if you do also have any storm reports, or if you would like to compete in this little photo challenge that we're having here, you can send your photos to fox35stormteam@fox.com, or you can send it to me personally, laurel.blanchard@fox.com. We would love to see your photos. Again, as we take a look outside this afternoon, it is sunny out there, and it is crazy because it definitely doesn't look as cold as it is. Here's a live view over Port Canaveral right now. You can see those waves starting to get a little bit rough, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on as we continue to track Melissa. But Port Canaveral right now, it is breezy out there, and that's going to be the main trend all across the region through the rest of the day today as that cooler air just really surges into the region. We'll take a look at temperatures in a couple minutes, but that sunshine is deceiving. It definitely looks a lot warmer than it is. 70 degrees out there in Lake Fairview in Orlando right now. It is chilly, and we're going to continue to see that cooler air really settle in as we head through the overnight tonight. Here's another view at the temperatures out there right now. Port Canaveral barely hanging on into the 70s. Areas across New Smyrna dropping down into the 60s. Orlando just squeaked into the 70s. It's 73 right now. Gainesville at 70. Ocala at 69. It is chilly out there. Let us know how you are bearing with the cold in the comments as well. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Fox Local. So make sure you join in the conversation in the comments. So it is chilly out there right now, but I hate to even show this next graphic because I'm personally just chilly looking at it, because as we do take a look at our lows through the overnight tonight, it's going to be chilly out there, and it's going to kind of stick around for a little while. So here are your lows through the overnight tonight. it is going to drop pretty much into the 40s, higher up on the I-75 corridor in Gainesville. Further down the I-4 corridor, taking a look here in Orlando, we're barely hanging on to the 50s. And as we do take a look along the coast, temperatures going to be spanning throughout the 40s and the 50s as we take a look a little bit later on. As we do take a look, especially later on tonight, seeing those temperatures continuing to drop, and that's what's really going to allow, with those crystal clear skies, for those temperatures to drop quite a bit as we head through the overnight tonight. Overall, this is what's really going to allow those temperatures without that cloud cover, that cooler air moving in. That's what's going to really allow those temperatures to drop, and they're going to drop like a stone, especially once that sun sets through the overnight tonight. Those temperatures are going to get chilly, so heads up for Halloween night. We're going to be seeing those temperatures maybe a couple degrees warmer, but still on the chilly side as we take a look at the next couple of days. Slowly starting to warm back up. Emphasis on the slowly part, because as we do take a look at our morning lows over the next couple of days, seeing those temperatures continuing to just stay on the chilly side. Average low for this time of year, 62 degrees, and we're going to be seeing those temperatures barely hanging on to the 50s as we take a look at tomorrow morning. Saturday, slowly starting to warm up from there. Sunday into Monday, finally starting to make our way back up towards average, and even a little bit above average on Monday, popping back down into Tuesday, seeing those temperatures starting to cool down once again. So that's what we're looking at. And again, if you kind of just notice those highs, it's going to drop as we take a look, especially through the overnight tonight and through tomorrow, which, a little bit of a fun fact here, we could be seeing, or getting close to at least, the coldest Halloween on record. So coldest high was 1993. This Friday is going to be 70 degrees. And if I remember correctly, back in 1993, that Halloween was about 66 degrees. That is chilly, and we're going to be making a run at that. Taking a look on Friday at 70. So it is really going to be on the cooler side out there. Let's take a quick look at the comments. Right now, I'll pop myself back up. There we go. Taking a look at our comments right now, seeing a couple people writing in. Elizabeth, perfect weather here in Titusville. Elizabeth, I would love to know where you're from, because I'm from New England. This is nothing new, especially on Halloween. I would have to throw a winter jacket over, really pile up the layers underneath my costume. So this isn't really anything new to me, but I have to say, I was even a little bit chilly earlier on today when I walked outside, and we're also seeing a couple people writing in on Facebook. We'll get back to those folks in a little bit, but we're going to be taking a break in a few minutes. Not only are we tracking cold, we're continuing to track Melissa. So latest update, this is the 2 p.m. update from Melissa, currently holding category 2 strength with 105 mile per hour winds. And as we do take a look at the current map right here, we can see with that 2 p.m. update, 105 mile per hour winds. This is what's going to be picked up. It's going to brush Bermuda, so it's not going to be direct impacts, but most likely Bermuda is going to be seeing a lot of wind and a lot of rain. You can see right here, we're going to be seeing areas across Bermuda probably get brushed by Melissa, but no direct impacts for Bermuda, thank goodness, because again, they've had a couple of close calls earlier on this year with Umberto and Imelda. And so as we make our way further northward, this storm is pretty much going to be following along all of that cooler air that's pushing into the region now, and that's what's going to be bringing us our cooler temperatures for Halloween and this weekend, and then eventually making its way back up into the northern Atlantic, where it's going to tap into that cooler water and eventually become a non-tropical low as it kind of makes its way back across the Atlantic. So that's ultimately what we are going to be seeing with the rest of Melissa, making a close call towards Bermuda, and then as it makes its way up the East Coast, it's going to be roughening up our seas, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about Melissa and answer the question of the day in the comments. We'll talk about your Halloween forecast coming up a little bit later on. We'll see you then. All right, everybody, welcome back. Taking a look, and as we continue to track Melissa, Melissa was absolutely slammed into the coast of Jamaica, slammed into Cuba, really caused a good amount of damage in across the Bahamas as well, and now it's kind of following up the East Coast. So as we take a look at the latest from Melissa, this is the 2 p.m. update. We are right now seeing 105 mile per hour winds, which puts this storm at a category 2 out there at the moment. So as the storm kind of continues to follow up the East Coast, Melissa's not done kind of causing some damage, especially along the East Coast now. We're really going to be focusing in on the tides here in Florida. So just over 450 miles away from the coast right now, and this is going to be making its way up towards Bermuda as we take a look at the next couple of days. So here's what we're looking at. 2 p.m. update, 105 mile per hour winds, barely brushing past Bermuda. Bermuda has definitely gotten a couple of close call brushes from Umberto, Imelda, and now it's going to be getting a close brush by from Melissa now too as well, and it's going to continue to kind of hold this 105 mile per hour winds over the next couple of days. From there up towards the New England coastline, it's going to kind of be pushed away, and that's all due to that cold front that's moving in right now and bringing in all that colder air. That's what's acting very much as a shield to us here in Florida and all along the East Coast, and why we're not going to be seeing the storm almost kind of swing backwards and into the East Coast, because it's kind of just following up this cold front that's bringing us in that cooler air right now. So what does that mean for us here in Florida? That is going to mean, even though it's a close call, we still have a little bit of breathing room, but still this is going to be causing some damage, especially to our coastline. So taking a look, here's what we're looking at with the current pattern. Melissa kind of again just going to follow up this massive cold front that's going to be bringing us breezy conditions as well as those cooler temperatures through the rest of the work week and through the weekend. After that, this big high pressure system going to move in, and that's what's going to slowly start to warm our temperatures up as we take a look at the back half of the weekend and the start of the work week. So that's ultimately what we can see out there right now. And as we take a look at the next couple of days, it's going to be chilly, but then slowly starting to warm back up. But as Melissa passes up the coast, it doesn't mean we're getting off scot-free. If you remember at the beginning of October, we were seeing extremely rough surf because Imelda was making its way up the Florida coastline, granted a lot closer, but Imelda wasn't nearly as strong as what we're seeing with Melissa. So we're going to be seeing a high surf risk, especially as we take a look probably from later on tonight all the way through the weekend. Coastal erosion is going to be another big story, and then life-threatening rip currents are going to be also impacting us here on the Florida East Coast as we head through the not only the rest of this week, but also the entire first week of November. And that's also why we're going to be kind of putting out the feelers as well, because we're expecting another supermoon at the beginning of November. So with that, if you remember also at the beginning of October, we had a massive event of the king tide. And king tides are the highest tides of the year. It's when the sun, the moon, and the earth kind of all align, which really amps up the gravitational force. And because water and tides are really played by the moon, this also gets worsened by a supermoon. So the tides are going to be extremely high from Melissa this week and this weekend, and then taking a look at the first week of November, king tides are really going to start to take hold for us here in Florida. And so we are going to be seeing our next supermoon on November 5th. So basically the entire first week of November, we are going to be seeing the highest king tides of 2025. So that's ultimately what we can see with Melissa. So just make sure, again, if you do have any beach trips, which I don't know, with these temperatures, I would not be heading to the beach personally. But if you are planning on heading to the beach, this is going to cause a lot of erosion over the next couple of days for us here in Florida. But kind of backtracking just a little bit, Melissa caused a lot of damage in areas across Jamaica. Melissa caused a lot of damage across Jamaica, across Cuba, and really roughened up areas across the Bahamas as well. So I know a lot of folks are trying to get out from that chill in New England, take some cruises during this time of year. Waters are going to be really rough, at least for the next 2 weeks. So if you are planning on a cruise, I really hope that you do not get seasick, because we are really going to be seeing those rough waters for at least 2 weeks. But kind of going back to Tuesday, Melissa made a infamous landfall on the coast of Jamaica. It was the first Category 5 storm to ever impact the island and the strongest storm to ever impact the island, which definitely caused a lot of damage. And we are still starting just to see and scratch the surface of all the damage that has been really pushed forth from this storm. We're starting to get a lot of damage reports in from Cuba as well as the Bahamas. So I was actually able to talk to a couple people that rode out the storm yesterday. One woman, Nicole, who you're going to hear from in just a second, she rode out the storm and she was visiting family. She did not think that Melissa was going to be a part of her vacation. She usually spends about a week and a half there, but this is going to significantly lengthen her vacation, and not the best way, because she is not even thinking that she'll be able to get back to the States until November 10th. So here's the latest damage of what we're seeing from the island of Jamaica. Melissa made landfall as a monster Category 5 hurricane, the first Category 5 and the strongest storm to ever make landfall in Jamaica. Officials say the storm caused extensive damage to hospitals, airports, and left communities completely underwater. More than 500,000 customers were left without power after Melissa raged over the island. Thousands of tourists remained stranded after their flights were canceled as Melissa approached.
There's floods to Clarendon. The roads have turned into rivers. So really, while we're grateful being where we're at, we're still thinking about the other house in Clarendon to make sure that the family that we have there, the friends and family that we have all around Jamaica, that they're safe.
On Wednesday, people were headed back outside to get a look at the damage Melissa left behind. This is video of significant damage to the Hotel Catalonia in Montego Bay. Another vacationer in Montego Bay documented the moments she returned to the resort to find the basement completely flooded, and the devastating sight of once a beautiful hotel lobby now in shambles.
Sound like howling, like, ghosts in the night. It sounded really bad outside. It was scary. Yes, I had my 6-year-old niece also. That's her first hurricane. So what was going through my mind was just trees hitting the window, trees hitting everywhere. So I'm just glad that we're safe and we're in a safer area.
But after the storm moved out, families are relieved to finally hear from loved ones after communication was cut off.
I was trying to make sure that they were as prepared as they could be. Scary because we didn't know how long we were not going to be able to talk to them, because they did lose power. They did lose our communication for a couple hours. But then once we finally could, it was definitely a sign of relief. Yeah, and again, unfortunately, Nicole is not sure when she's going to be able to return back to the States. All right, we're going to take a quick break on our Fox Local, and if you are watching here on Facebook or YouTube, let us know what you are dressing up as for Halloween, or if you're not dressing up, what are your kids dressing up as for Halloween? We are talking about your Halloween forecast coming up in a few minutes, and I'll give you a hint. It is going to be absolutely spine-chilling. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Melissa made landfall as a monster Category 5 hurricane, the first Category 5 and the strongest storm to ever. All right, everybody, welcome back. And just to kind of wrap up our conversation before we had with the break, we are continuing just to monitor the damage and keep an eye on all the reports that are coming in from Jamaica, Cuba, from the impacts of Melissa. And there are some restaurants that are helping out locally here in Central Florida, areas especially near Claremont, the Ocho Rios Jamaican restaurant. They are looking for food, diapers, and they're trying to fill 12 barrels in order to send to Jamaica, as well as also we ran a story earlier on today that Attorney Dan Newland is also flying supplies to Jamaica in order to help out people there. So a couple of areas are trying to help out with those victims there that were unfortunately impacted by Melissa. So if you would like to help out, again, one of the meteorologist TJ Springer, if you go follow his page, he just posted, again, Ocho Rios Jamaican restaurant. They are going to be expecting and accepting anything from food, diapers, anything and everything, as well as monetary donations in order to help the victims of Jamaica. So kind of wrapping it up here, we are seeing those very chilly temperatures out there at the moment. And I was even a little bit chilly when I took my dog Honey for a walk today. That sunshine is deceiving so far. 70 degrees out there right now. It looks like crystal clear blue skies, but as that breeze really starts to kick in, it definitely feels pretty chilly out there for sure. So this is what we're going to be looking at through the rest of the day today. Highs are going to be lingering throughout the low 70s, and it is just going to be on the cooler side, especially as that breeze pushes in, which means it's sweater weather, everybody. So it's going to be feeling like fall in Florida over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, you will need the coat. Highs only going to be throughout the low 70s, slowly starting to warm back up on Saturday, so you may need to just downgrade to a sweater then. Sunday and Monday, probably back to either the jeans and t-shirt or the t-shirt and shorts. Tuesday, though, we're going to see those temperatures slowly start to dip back down as we see those temperatures slowly start to cool back down into the upper 70s. So that's what we're looking at over the next couple of days. But let us know if you actually like this weather, if you're not originally from Florida, or if you are from Florida, is this a little bit too chilly for you? Let us know what you think in the comments. We'll take a look at your comments in just a moment. But I know a lot of kiddos are going to be hitting the streets tomorrow to go trick-or-treating. So here is your Halloween forecast. It's going to be cool. Highs tomorrow, barely even hanging on to the 70s here in Orlando, slowly starting to cool down. And by the time kiddos are heading out to their neighborhoods, to either Halloween parties that are happening tomorrow, it's going to be chilly. Temperatures lingering by the time we see all those trick-or-treaters head out to the streets. Going to be seeing those temperatures dropping into the 60s. If you're heading out a little bit later on, you're going to need to prepare for the 50s because it is going to be cold out there. One thing that I guess we don't need to worry about this year is chocolate or candy melting. We're only going to be seeing maybe a couple of smudges as we see those temperatures cool down as trick-or-treaters start to go get their candy, taking a look a little bit later on tomorrow night. But something that is interesting that we've kind of been following over the past couple of days, excuse me, over the next couple of days, what we have been kind of keeping an eye on is the possibility of us getting close to the coldest record here in Orlando. So the coldest high since 1993. This Friday is going to be 70 degrees. Back in 1993, our high on Halloween was about 65, I believe. Average high during this time of year, though, 82 degrees. Last year, we had 85-degree temperatures, which definitely would have melted that chocolate a little bit quicker. Coldest, it was 66 degrees back in 1993 is what we've been seeing. So that's ultimately what we can expect for your Halloween forecast. And to kind of just, make matters even worse, we're going to be in for a cold Halloween, but also a reminder, because if I don't remind you, I'm going to forget myself. It is time to turn back the clock. You're gaining an hour of sleep. However, that sunset here in Central Florida going to be at 5:39. That is even a little bit too early for me, but I'm okay with it because I have family back up in Boston. And Elizabeth, I saw that you were from Boston as well as Elaine Tovett watching from Holbrook, Massachusetts. It is going to be setting the sun up in New England at about 4:30 at night. No, thank you for sure. let me put myself back up here and let's actually take a look at some of your comments that are in the comment section. Let's pop this up right here. Let's see what some folks are being for Halloween or what they think of the weather for this time of year. And here we go. We'll start off with Ricky on YouTube saying that it's very windy where he is. And we're going to continue to see those windy conditions through at least the next couple of days as we take a look at your 7-day forecast. So overall, Ricky, yes, it is going to be cooler, but you do say that it is beautiful there in the Orlando wetlands, and I also think it is pretty beautiful. It's very refreshing weather, I have to say, so very nice weather, but it is definitely a little bit on the chilly side, and that's even coming from May. I'm taking a look, Arlene, seeing that it's perfect for wearing Halloween costumes. Yes, it is, but it may be just a little bit on the cooler side, especially for some kiddos, because I think I've already seen about 4 or 5 roomies from K-pop Demon Hunters, and they have had to quite literally put on multiple layers underneath the jacket that she wears. Seeing someone writing in from Facebook saying, oh my god, I am loving the weather. Me too, Migdalia, me too. And also going to be seeing someone writing in on Facebook, how is the weather for Hallow Scream at SeaWorld at 7 p.m. tonight? It's going to be chilly, seeing those temperatures dropping down into the 50s here in Orlando's in the low 50s at that. So Tasha, you may need to wear an extra jacket there. Elizabeth saying that it's also perfect weather there in Titusville as well. And it is going to, once again, be a little on the cooler side as we take a look through the rest of the evening. So that's what we are seeing in our comment section right now. Thanks for everyone for joining in. There is one more comment that I want to read that I just got in and just saw, but 7-day forecast overall, it's going to be chilly for a little while, but it's not going to be chilly for long. So as we do take a look, we're going to be seeing those temperatures a little on the cooler side, especially for Halloween, but things are slowly going to start to warm back up as we take a look at the next couple of days. So here is your 7-day forecast. Elaine Tavet saying, happy Halloween, Laurel. I bought a new broom, so I'm dressing up as the 4th Sanderson sister for Halloween. I think, Elaine, you would make a good 4th Sanderson sister. Winifred, Sarah, Mary, and Elaine. I like that. Good Halloween costume. And I also saw one, I think I threw it in the comment section so it can pop into our system. Eli is being a Squishmallow this year for Halloween. That is adorable. But here's what you're looking at for your 7-day forecast. Another cold front making its way in, bringing in a couple of very scattered showers as we take a look Monday and Tuesday, but those temperatures kind of on a roller coaster throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s over the next couple of days. So I hope you do have that winter jacket kind of prepared because you will definitely need it, especially if you are heading out there tonight. Temperatures, especially up in Gainesville, dropping down into the 40s. No, thank you, especially during this time where our highs are lingering throughout, or should be lingering throughout the low 80s as an average high. All right, everyone, join us tomorrow. We're going to show off a couple of your photos that you've sent in to us, and also we're going to take a look at some of our photos from past of our childhoods, myself, as well as the rest of the Storm team that join in on our stream. All right, everyone, join us back tomorrow at 3 p.m. We'll break down a little bit more of your Halloween forecast tomorrow. Have a great night.